I can totally see like 150 people. We took all the chairs and everything out. I think this is 150 person space really easy. It'd be a good little miniature like micro show. Yeah, dude. Like I said, $500 a person. 150 people get in here. Yeah, $5 a person. 150 people get in here. Right. You can budget like a $500 headliner and still walk out with money. Could you imagine like a Quiver Kimball Collins set in like a room this nice, and not like the Fusion Factory with like concrete floors and nowhere? Yeah, I can see. There's parking right there. Yep. It's like set up. It's awesome.
You know, another location that'd be perfect for an underground. Right by my house, there's a Mexican place called La Fiesta. Enormous inside. And they close at like 2.
Well, hi there. There's a couple of you here. Welcome to the what used to be known as the Boulder Synthesizer Meetup until about a week ago. I don't know if you guys were watching this thing go by, but I from meetup.com I pulled out everybody's name and I ran a 3D like heat map in Bing, and I'm like, man, we're all over the Front Range, and I just got more and more people confused about, well, if it's the Boulder Synthesizer Meetup, why are you meeting in Denver? So anyway, I decided to change the name to the Rocky Mountain Synthesizer Meetup. So welcome to the Rocky Mountain Synthesizer Meetup. This is meetup number 43. We go typically every month, second Tuesdays, and we started off in a little bar in Louisville, which was great. It was like this old Irish pub. And how many people were at that first one? Yeah, so that's cool. And then we kind of outgrew that, and then we went to Lafayette, and then the Walnut Room was nice enough to invite us down here, so we've been here for almost a year now. And on the back on sound you have Carson. Let's have a big hand for Carson. And Leslie's back there serving the drinks. Big hand for Leslie. Yeah. So it's just an amazing room. If you haven't been here before, come for the shows. Underneath this is this subwoofer right under here. So if you ever come to see a show, the room's amazing. I've done a couple shows here, and you can actually use the room as like a speaker. You can tune the subharmonics, and the thing starts to rattle. It's a really great PA system. So thanks for coming out. I started the meetup thinking I'd get about 4 or 5 people to come talk about synthesizers, and as of today, last I looked, we have 401 members in 2.5 years. So that's pretty awesome. And so how many people are brand new? Put your hand up. Wow, fantastic.
Welcome!
Welcome! Hey. So how it normally works is we limit the heads count to about 45, and we do these, it's similar to this, we do some sort of 30-40 minute something, the theme rotates, we've done modulars, little bits, software, Ableton, it's different every month. The idea is to really kind of inspire you and then have people connect. So normally when we only have 45-ish people, we do intros and we hand the mic around and people connect. And out of that, we end up doing shows together or doing collaborations together. So the whole point of the meetup is to kind of show you a wide range of stuff, maybe not in the area you'd normally think about, to inspire you to make better art, to make you a better musician, and to connect you with lots of people. So it's awesome that we have 400 members now, and I almost dropped my phone, so that was awesome. Let's see, so how the format goes, they're a restaurant and a bar, so you can stay here in this room until 9 o'clock if you're under 21. After that, we kick your ass out if you're under 21, so sorry about that. I don't have any control over that. And then after that, we normally do a meetup, and we have one of our members perform. Tonight, Seraphin's going to do double duty, who you'll meet in just a minute. Yes, he's going to do the presentation, and he's going to do a performance. So why do we do that? It's great because there's this is a really safe audience. A lot of people who've performed here are seasoned. There's some people who this is the first time they've ever done it. So you come in here, you get up here, or you might try out your new rig and your new set, and the whole thing blows up halfway through the show, and you're in a really friendly audience. And you're using a really monster PA, and Carson's back there, and you just learn a lot, and you also, again, you're getting exposed to what other people are doing with art. So the music you heard coming in is all from the meetup members. So we have a SoundCloud group. It's moderated. so that we don't get an influx of certain countries' dance music. I think the Netherlands were attacking us and like flooding us with music. So it's moderated. Anyone can listen. Mike Bryant, I think you went across Texas and back, and didn't you just listen to that thing endlessly? Is that true? True story? Yeah, so there's a lot of really good stuff out there, and I think we have 50 songs up there already. So add your best to, you know, and I will approve them. If you have some really bizarre DJ name, and for some reason your SoundCloud profile is in the Netherlands, you're going to need to email me if you want your track to go out. It has happened. Kind of a little bit more about the name change. You know, the meetup, the goal of the meetup isn't just endless growth; it's connection and inspiration. So when I changed the name, I felt it was more reflective of who we are now. But also I got to do a tour with Darwin where we went up into into Nebraska, and there's people here that are touring, and there's people going to New Mexico and back, and I felt like it was we have a self-contained infrastructure. We're using the house equipment right now, but I have a projector and a screen and a little PA, and we have a lot of people who can teach and play and perform. So I had this idea that first off, we're gonna start including people. I'm from Boulder. We're gonna start alternating. So we're gonna be here in December. We're gonna be here in January. And then in February, we're going to Boulder. And Made Life is going to host us. And Made Life's an awesome space in Boulder. They have a black box. So we're going to keep this sort of drinking, socializing vibe here in the big stage in the huge PA. And when we go to Boulder, it's going to be more like a salon where we go a little deeper for 2 hours. And there's not going to be boozing and such in that location. But it kind of gives you two vibes. So if some people would want to come to both, I'm trying to make meetups so that they're a little different at each location. But even on top of that, once I changed the name to Rocky Mountain, I was like, you know, we can start barnstorming, right? We can go down to Colorado Springs. Is there anybody from Colorado Springs? 1, 2 people, 3 people from Colorado Springs? Yes, so if I bring a meetup down there and we do a pop-up barnstorming event, we can get the synthesis down there to join the meetup. So that way, what does that mean? Well, if they're over here, they'll come. Or if you want to play a show down there, you're going to get to know more people, right? We can go to Roswell, New Mexico, maybe? I don't know. So we can go to New Mexico, Jackson Hole ski season. So if you want to get involved with some barnstorming events in 2016, come talk to me, and we'll do some pop-ups and go up into this high country or wherever. There's people doing, this is folk music now, so there's people everywhere. So why not get everybody in on the party, right? Why not? You just the more we have, the more inspiration we'll all have. So yep.
Diana wants to know if you'll barnstorm to the UK for her.
Yeah, well, what's the budget? Yeah, well, speaking of that was Mike Medley. Mike, stand up a second. This is Mike Medley. Mike ran the meetup for me last month because I had foot surgery and I was on psychedelic drugs.
Oh, he was amazing. He was so much fun. When you pick up the projection, he was like, dude.
Yeah.
Are those compositions on SoundCloud?
I did record some music then, and you'll need to match the drugs so when you listen to it, it sounds like really cool. Because if you listen to it without the drug, it's not the best stuff. So, so anyway, our sponsors are the Walnut Room and soon Made Life, and also Victoria from Cuddlefish Arts, who did our logo. You saw. Yeah. So we had the old Boulder Synth logo, and just, I don't know how you read my mind, but if you put Rocky Mountain, the word mountain goes right under the mountains that were in the logo before. So anyway, Victoria was kind enough to tweak the logo and get that out there, and let's see, thanks to Bob, who is our sergeant at arms tonight. Where's Bob? There he is. Bob was at the door. Victoria was at the door. Keep me all through the door. So what I would say is tonight's going to be, there's going to be a lot coming at you. We're going to see some cool Ableton stuff. Normally it would be a little more interactive, but my goal with this meetup was to get as many people in to see this as possible from our area, because this thing kicks ass. If you're going to see the display of it, you won't be able to see it on the camera, but if you come up here after they present, it's stunning. It's like an OP1, but, you know, Ableton. So this device is awesome. Live 9.5 and now 9.51, which is in beta, is awesome. So if you're a live person, I think you're going to really enjoy it. If you're not a live person, you're going to see workflow you're going to see things that will inspire you to use whatever device you've got.
If you're not a live person, you should be in the graveyard.
And you should be in the graveyard, yes. So all that pizza you had was compliments of Ableton, and I want to, yes, and this is Thomas Falls. Big hand for Thomas. So Thomas emailed me about a month ago, and he goes, hey, I can't tell you what it is, or what we'll be doing. It's top secret, but can I hijack your meetup, right? In a sense, like, can we come in, no questions asked, and I'm like, hell yeah. So anyway, we met each other a few months back at Made Life, and Ableton said they wanted to come to the Rocky Mountain Synth Meetup to do their thing, and I was like, Sunday night I was up till like 1 in the morning. I kept hitting refresh on the Ableton site, like, what the hell are they announcing? I don't know how you keep the secret. And I fell asleep hitting the button, and I woke up at 8 a.m. and then I saw it, and I was like, holy shit, it's push 2 and it's live 9.5. So I don't know, it's like so weird to be so excited about a point release, but you guys really put a lot of cool stuff in here. So Thomas bought all the pizza you had, yes? Thomas brought his push 2. Thomas has got Seraphin, who's our local only certified Ableton person, going to be presenting. So we have a great relationship with Ableton, and I hope you enjoy this. And I'm going to run up here and take your picture and have you all wave at me so we can prove we actually had this many people at a Bowler Synth meetup. And then I'm going to have Thomas go, and then Seraphin's going to go, and he'll explain the night as we go. Right? So hold on. Okay, wave or something.
Lost lights.
Excited. Yeah! Oh wait, it didn't go. Just kidding. All right, so without further ado, we have Thomas Falls from Ableton, Chicago, right? You're from Chicago,
Yes.
and Seraphin will be up after that.
So much, Mark, for hosting this. This is amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm on this whirlwind tour now, showing off Push 2, the Live 9.5 software, and the new Link technology. This is by far the best event I've been to yet. And round of applause for yourselves.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to show you guys all this new stuff, and I also am really hoping that we have time to meet as many of you guys one-on-one as possible. So I'm going to try to do as little talking as I possibly can, as much showing, and then hopefully we've got plenty of time at the end of this for you guys to get your hands on the new push and to meet myself and Seraphin and answer and ask any questions that you guys might have. So, Mark has already told the story about this secret that I've had to keep. I've known about this for about 6 months, really, and it's very, very difficult. But now it's all public, and it's really exciting. Not last weekend, but the weekend before that, I was in Berlin for Ableton's Loop Festival. I've still got my wristband on because it was such an amazing, transformative weekend. I don't want to forget about it, so I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this on, but I like to just think about that weekend. It was an entire music festival of conferences, symposiums, workshops, panels, all based around helping people make music. There was nothing about Ableton as a product at all for the entire weekend until the very last day, Sunday. There was a secret keynote presentation where Ableton announced these 3 new things that I'm going to introduce you now. I'm curious, how many of you guys that are here already have an Ableton Push? Just by a show of hands. About half of you guys. So Ableton Push was Ableton's first hardware instrument. It was designed as an instrument to create music from scratch, to put all the major elements of music making at your fingertips. Ableton as a brand believes that making music is not easy. It's hard. You need the technology to get out of the way, the tools to get out of the way so you can get rid of the distractions of daily life. And for me, Push was about getting away from the computer and having a way to use the computer technology and feel like an instrument. So last Monday, Push 2 was released into the world, the new Push. And if I can get my computer screen on the big screen here, sorry, I'm just seeing the blue screen. There we go, sorry. So, rather than talk about this, I'm just going to show you this 3-minute video. This is the new Push. So this is the new push, and this thing is just amazing to me. I really don't want to talk as much as I feel like about this because I'm just so excited. I'm trying to dial some of this back. And what the demo, the literature, and the videos really can't show you is just the build quality of this thing. There's not a single part, circuit, or component that was reused from Push 1. This is completely redesigned from scratch. Ableton now makes this in-house. This is no longer a partnership with Akai. Ableton now makes one hardware product, and the idea is that to make it as good as it could possibly be, Ableton now needs to control every aspect of the manufacturing, engineering, and design process. So we've got brand new pads that are the best pads I've ever played. I'm going to invite all you guys up to get your hands on this at the end so you can really decide for yourself. The display is the other huge thing that most people are really excited about. The browser in Push now mirrors the browser in the software, and the display is just gorgeous. It's taken out of a certain luxury German automobile, and it is crisp, detailed, and viewable from any angle, which is not the case with a lot of other controllers with shiny, colorful displays. It's really next level. All of the buttons have this nice recessed, yet soft and satisfying click to them. The knobs have got this perfect amount of resistance so you can really accurately dial in your parameters and filter sweeps and things like that. The knobs are all touch sensitive in this really elegant way. I haven't really seen anything quite that nice as far as the touch-sensitive encoders go. And the layout of all the buttons has been redesigned so that you can create faster and more intuitively. I've had this unit for about 7 days, and every day that I use it, I'm learning and discovering more things that I like about this. And Seraphin is going to tell a similar story, similar experiences. So another cool thing that Ableton did with this is when the Push was announced, it's now available in stores. So if you guys like this, you can go buy it, and it is available. Another really cool and interesting component of this is this trade-in program that Ableton is doing. If you want the new Push and you have the old Push, which about half of you guys do, you can trade that in, get 30% off of the new Push. And then the coolest thing that I have heard is Ableton is going to take the old Push units and gift them, donate them to educational institutions that could not otherwise afford them with the software for free. So I will play for you this short video explaining that process and showing some of the kids that inspired this trade-in program.
Can we turn down the lights on the screen?
Lights on the screen, like
House
lights, please.
House lights. Yeah.
Thank you for the suggestion.
1, 2, 3.
Kids want to make the music that they actually listen to. It seems obvious, but there's almost no resources available for them.
If I can learn how to make music that sounds like the music that I love listening to, then is there anything I cannot learn? Music educators like Aaron Barra, Lawrence Gray, and King Britt pursue what strikes me as a revolutionary idea. Teach kids how to make the music they love. The cost of the gear, of course, is a big hurdle for this new kind of music education. For many schools, simply prohibitive. Here's an idea how we can change this together. It's a trade-in offer for owners of Push 1 who want the new Push. If you trade us your Push 1, then we offer you a 30% discount on Push 2. And what happens with your old Push? We give it to an educational initiative that needs it, and we add a copy of Ableton Live for free. If you want to trade us your Push 1, or if you know of a teacher or an educational institution that works with young people on a project like this, then please click the link below.
It's actually music made by the kids in that video.
Oh, nice.
So that's not all. There was a third thing announced at the end of the Loop Festival that is maybe more interesting than all of this stuff. It's this new technology that Ableton has developed. It's called Link, and it solves a problem that is of syncing electronic instruments together in a way that you would play like in a band situation. So the inspiration comes from playing in a band where you don't have to think about playing in time with the other musicians. It just happens. But right now, there's not a whole lot of elegant solutions for that. So this is a new technology that is free for everyone that allows not only computers running Ableton Live to sync up, but also iOS devices, your phone, your tablet, those type of instruments. So this is Ableton Link. And this is not available yet. This is due out in January next year. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some of the new things with the new Push that has really been blowing my mind in the 7 days that I've had this unit. So Push retains all of the enhanced melodic, harmonic, and rhythm workflows from the original Push, and it adds sampling, the ability to work with audio. And my original electronic instrument was an MPC 4000 about 10 years ago. I used to use a program called Recycle to chop up my audio and then load them onto my MPC so that I could play them on the pads. Push has taken this workflow to the nth degree now, and this was the first thing I did when I got my unit. After I checked out the build quality, of course the display is amazing. The pads are so playable. When you get a chance to put your hands on Push, I recommend you play these pads. You can now drag your... They're so playable. It is so fast and fun. And I'm not a piano player. I'm a drummer with my wrists. I don't have like finger dexterity. But this thing really, I'm impressing myself with what I can do. And dragging your finger around. Just a really, really cool thing I haven't been able to do on any other pad controller that I've used. So what I'm going to do now with this browser is load up a sample. This can be any type of audio. Let's see. So I'm going to go to my user library. Something that's really nice about the new Push browser is that your user library is first. So your sounds come first here. And I'm just going to navigate to where my samples are. Thank you, Sarah. So I can preview.
Hey, listen, I have a record I want you to play.
Hit the load button. And now you can see the waveform on Push's display. So to chop up the sample, all I need to do is move the mode to slicing, and then I'm going to play with the sensitivity knob. And you can see the slices like magic.
Holy shit.
So however many slices you like. So warping now is built into the simpler device in the Live 9.5 software, and consequently it's available from Push. So I can change the tempo without affecting the pitch. And all the slices everything will follow along like magic. So if I don't like those slices, I can play with the start and the end point. I can nudge individual slices by selecting them. You know it's selected because it lights up. So Seraphine's going to go into a lot of these features in a little bit more in depth, but that was the first thing I did. That blew my mind. The second thing you can do when you're chopping up a sample is do it manually here with this pad slicing mode. So as you play back the sound, I can chop it by hitting any pad, and you see it slice, 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 slice. And now that is so satisfying and so much fun. Load up anything, slice it up, play it like an instrument. Another way that we can work in new ways with samples now is this classic mode, where I could so now I can play audio, change the pitch without affecting the timing. So check this out. I can play chords with songs. So, I'm going to turn this over to Seraphine now, and we're going to get a little bit more in depth. I really just wanted to show you some of these big highlights and make sure that we have enough time for you guys to come and introduce yourselves, get hands-on one-on-one with the new.
We're going to turn warp on, and then it sees that it's 8 bars. This is the function I kind of found. So now I actually want to warp it as an 8-bar loop. So I'm going to press that button, and you're going to see the transients kind of shift around. Play them. So now, and let's slow this down, maybe like 95. cool. So let's change the tonality too. So let's go to scale mode. And right now we're in C major. Let's change it to C minor. So just kind of get the ideas flowing. Notice the glide also works. That's pretty cool. So that's one way you can kind of get ideas, is just using a warp simpler. I was waiting for this one to come out for a long time. This is really nice. Another way I like to use a simpler is, this was in classic mode. We're going to take this over to slicing mode, and this is kind of what this is exactly what Thomas was using. So this is pre-sliced samples. And you can change the sensitivity by turning this down, and you'll see the pads start to disappear. So by pads. So that's one way to do it. These are just automatically created slices based on, looking for those spikes in the waves, all the transients. But let's turn the sensitivity all the way down to 0 and turn pad slicing on. So now what I can do is I can just hit a pad in real time and just make my own pads.
Black cotton every day. We sing the song of what's living. All dressed in black and bones. Sharks felt the blood that I'm bleeding.
Cool. Right, so now you can see you can kind of create your own order of the pads. So let's take that idea and record it in. I'm a big fan of this feature. So this is the fixed length button. This is not new to push 2. This is in push 1 as well. So if you hold down fixed length, you get these different phrases. So let's say I know I want to do something in a 4-bar phrase. It's automatically going to stop recording in 4 bars, which is really cool when your hands are busy. So let's turn that and turn fixed length on. Also on to push 2. When the button is flashing at you, that means it's on. And it'll say in the display too, fixed length on. So yeah, let's record. Let me just. So I'll go over our session, and there's our first idea. Sweet. Let's make another pattern. I'm getting all kinds of ideas just from these chops. Turn fixed length on. Let's go to a new idea. Cool. So we got kind of like a framework down for our beat. Let's add another element to it. Let's add some more. Let's add another drum beat to that. So if I go to a session view, I'm going to add another track. So I'm going to go and add something from my packs. So here is a bunch of cool breaks that I have. And again, you can preview it straight from the browser. Let's load that in there. Okay, great. So let's go back to note mode. And now we're going to play that beat. So notice that it changes pitch, but it stays the same timing, which is really cool. So if it hits simpler, go to the warp menu, there's some interesting things that you can do with different warp modes. So right now I have my settings set up to automatically warp it into complex mode. But if you change the mode to something like, let's say, tones, when you stretch the pitch farther away from the original sample, you get some interesting artifacts. This has got like a cool grainy sound. Another thing I like too is if you go to the global menu, we can turn on glide. So this is really fun. So we're going to turn on glide, increase our glide time. And now what it's going to do is it's going to glide up and down pitch, but it won't restart the sample. So you just get like a tape up, tape down kind of a sound. All right, so let's add that to our beat. Right, you can also see that I went into the mixer section. Smart people. Cool. So now we took a sample, we glided it up and down, and so here's the mix section. If I hit mix once, I can see all of my categories for volumes, pans, sends. My A send is a reverb, my B send is a delay. If you hit mix again, you can see the same properties for individual channels. So here's all of my mix settings for that channel, or this channel, which is kind of nice. And 9.5 also has the new meters, which have peak and RMS built into the meter, so it's really beautiful. Great. Let's sample something else. So let me go add a new track, and I'm going to add a new MIDI track, and look into. So we're going to sample something from one of my favorite saxophonists. I also play saxophone. That's kind of my primary instrument. I do a lot of performances on saxophone as well as write music. But this is a song from Ornette Coleman. Is anyone familiar? Ornette Coleman. He has a famous album called Free Jazz. So I think I want to add some hits, some like stabs or hits into this beat. So we're going to check out Free Jazz from Ornette Coleman. All right, so we'll load that. And I don't want it from the beginning. We're going to change it to right here. Right there. Okay, cool. Cool. So let's bring in another element. Let's add some chords. So I'm going to go and add another new track. And notice that I'm not even looking at the screen, which is nice because sometimes when you look at the screen, you're like, oh, but I could also do this and I can also do that. It really kind of helps me stay focused when I'm creating music. It's not like a good thing or a better screen in my opinion, to look at the screen or not look at the screen. It's just, for me, it helps me really stay focused and keeps my ideas concise, and I make music faster. So let's grab a pad sound. So I'm going to go to my sounds folder and go to this pad section, and I'm going to turn preview off so that you don't have to hear me scrub through every one of my sounds. So I'm going to use this sound called colliding pad. Cool, so I bring it in. Then the note mode. So you can also create chords in Push just like you can melodies. So I'm going to go back to scale mode, and I know that the back track was in E flat minor, so I'm going to change this to E flat minor, and cool, so let's start building that up. Cool. So another element that I want to add, and this, thank you. Being a horn player, like whatever I do has to be able to bring in this instrument somehow. This is just like part of my voice is playing the sax. Let's add some live recorded audio into the track as well. So let's bring in some saxophone. Sorry, I'm kind of handicapped with the microphone. Okay, so if you want to record enable a track in Push, if you just hold the record and then press it, now you're ready to play. Okay, so let me just improvise and we'll come up with a cool part that way. There's a saxophone track. All right, so what I really like is this button right here that just says convert. Convert sax to simpler. Yes, I will. And that, like, for me as like an instrumentalist, that took so many steps, and it's just like convert, yup, boom. So let me just change the scale back to C. Oh, so there we go. Turn that down a little bit for you. The same thing. You can harmonize with it. But let me add some audio effects. So the same workflow is really fast. So I'm going to hit Add Device. Go to Audio Effects, and let's bring in some reverb. Let's go down to the reverb preset. Load. Increase the decay time a little bit, dry wet. So another thing we can do too is if we go back to the simpler, instead of using it in the classic mode, let's chop it up like we did the drums so that I can play different parts of that sample at different times. So we'll go over here to slice mode. Turn our sensitivity all the way down. And turns pad slicing on. And let's chop this up too. Session mode, and let's build it up one more time. So turn all these off. Cool. Yeah, so I mean, I just hope I inspired you to make some more music using a lot of the sounds that you may have already have in your computer, or if you play an instrument, to use your instrument in a new way that maybe you haven't done in a long time. So right now, I would love to. That's cool to take some questions, and then if anyone wants to come up and try these devices, that'd be awesome. Oh yeah.
I was going to say that too, the synthesizer. To not discuss the new filters.
Yeah, Mark talked about the filters. So there's a whole new set of analog modeled filters. Let me bring that up. So. So let's bring in an auto filter. When you have these different filter types, so we can bring in the Oscar filter. Here's one based on the MS-20, and bring up a little bit of drive, some LFO amount. Thomas, what are the different ones based off of? Do you know exactly?
We mentioned two of them.
MS-20.
The Oscar, the MS-20, and
Prodigy.
And that's a Moog Prodigy.
Yeah. And they have drive as well.
Yeah.
12 to 24.
Turn all the resonance all the way up, so you can and then tweak the parameters, and then turn the filter drive.
It's kind of a game changer, especially like operator.
There was another question.
Those new filters are available in Simpler, Sampler, Operator, and the filter device itself. So if you want to throw like a Prodigy filter with drive on the end of a native instrument's absinthe, you can throw the device on there, and then it just totally whack it out. So
and the way you can change the order of the devices is really cool too. You can hold this down and it'll ask you choose the position of, and you can just switch the knob. And you can change the order, so now the grain delay is after the auto filter.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Nice. Secret sauce.
Hold down.
Yeah, hold it down.
And change the position. Oh wow.
Yes, sir.
So, one of the things I like to do on pad style instruments is to play it as an actual drum kit.
Like finger drumming?
Right. How easy would it be to set it up and record yourself playing the pads on this device?
Sure.
That was almost too easy. That we didn't even show that. That was something that Push One could do. You simply hit the record button and play the pads. There's 64 pad mode, which allows you to put a different sample on each of the 64 pads and play that like an instrument.
I like to keep it simple.
So come on up and I'll show you exactly how that works.
So you can, if you record audio, you can slice in Simpler, and then the convert button converts to drum racks.
Oh, great.
And you can play all your parts, slice it in Simpler with that fast mode, hit the convert button, and boom, it's a drum rack.
Cool.
Yeah, we take it one step further. This convert right here, like Marco said, now we can put it in a drum rack where you can step sequence it, or you can just leave it like this in a 64 pad grid and then finger drum away on it. Yes.
So I've been using the Ilgates method of doing the 128s with sampler. Is sampler going away?
No.
Okay, so does the new features of Simpler apply to Sampler as well?
Not necessarily, and I'm absolutely not allowed to comment on any future releases. But I can take your feature requests, and I can tell you that Ableton is listening. If you send an email to customercare@ableton.com or support@ableton.com, actually get every single week they compile all of the feature requests that users send in, and they send it to every single internal Ableton. So it's really interesting to see, and then everyone votes on the different features, and that ultimately informs what comes next.
Sampler does have the new filter though.
Okay.
But the new warping is not in Sampler, and I'm not sure why.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this a standalone usable device, or does it require the software to work it together?
Ableton's very careful to refer to push as not just another controller. It is an instrument conceptually and in how you use it, but technically it is a controller in the sense that all of the horsepower and all the sounds are actually coming from the computer. So it's a best of the both worlds scenario where you get everything that a computer does well left alone, and then everything that an instrument affords you is focused on.
So you need to use them together, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
When you buy the Push 2, it does come with a intro version of Live also.
Oh.
By the way, these things are coming in like 3 days if you order them. They're coming out of the warehouse in Texas or something.
Yeah, they're available now. You can go to a store, play them, buy them. I know for a fact the Art of Audio is a local independent retailer in Denver. I'm going to be there tomorrow night from 6 to 8 o'clock. And they have 5 of these push units in their store.
And the trade-in is now, like you just fill out a little form on, like, do you have the power adapter, do you have the USB cable? They send you the new push with the box and you send your old push back. So you actually aren't without a push.
Yeah, in case we weren't clear about that, Mark already has his push unit. He did the trade-in process, and if you have any questions...
3 days.
There you go.
So if you don't have a push one,
No, they send you the new one
run?
with a box with a shipping label with a return.
Right.
You pull your new push out, and then you play it for a couple hours, and you forget, oh, I got to put the other push back in the box. You put it back in the box. If you don't have the box that has bubble wrap, you put the sticker over the old sticker. You either call FedEx or take it down, and then eventually, it comes in. If they don't receive it, they're going to come back for you for that 30%. But they trust you to ship it back, right? So that's freaking awesome.
It's for the kids. We're donating your push one unit to the kids. So, yeah. It's for the children. Somebody
I told my
think of the
wife
children.
that I was donating to charity.
One thing to add to your question too, do you use Max for Live? One thing I like about the sampler is it has like extra envelopes and LFOs.
Right.
The envelope device and the LFO device kind of like opens that all up.
Right.
So.
Great.
Yeah, Max for Live becomes the ultimate problem solver in so many ways. If there's something that you wish the hardware or the software would do natively, if it doesn't do that with a little bit of know-how, you can make it do that with Max for Live. Ableton's really good about keeping these products hackable and customizable in a lot of ways. Yeah, more questions, please.
Yeah, is there any chance you can run through the new multi-instrument and how it interacts with Push 2 from Max 7?
Yeah, we're really, I understand we're really heavy on the new push tonight. It's because it's the new shiny, exciting thing, and I can't stop playing it or thinking about it or talking about it. But it's not just push. We talked about the Live 9.5 upgrades. There's a lot of stuff, not just the new filters. There's the improved metering and the RMS, ways to help you get your mix sounding better, faster. And there's new instruments too. There's new Max for Live Essentials. Unfortunately, we just didn't prepare any presentations on that stuff because everywhere I've been, people are so interested in the new push.
I love that new multi.
Yeah, there's quite a few new instruments. That's just beyond the scope of today's presentation, so I apologize.
Yeah, bass, multi, and poly were the 3 instruments that got
I did want to tack on to your thing.
Link is an ad hoc technology, so there is no hierarchy. Anyone can change anything they want. Link is self-contained.
So the network comes from
simultaneously, several people are doing it electronically.
Oh, whoever turns the knob first in that case.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like ad hoc networking computers. If someone's sending a message, no one else can send a message until they're done.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
It's going to be damn exciting. That's all we know.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine one of these meetups? Everyone can get together for a jam session afterwards. And people can come and go, and everything will just stay synced up in time. It's really great. I'm sorry, could everyone, we could just kind of be cool? Let's try to stay quiet so we can hear all the questions until the end. Yes, please.
Can you comment as to how that timing is going to be handled? Is it an API that apps are going to have to like link into in order to make it so, like, say you're using that Korg app that was on the phone? Are they going to have to add the feature into their app before it will be compatible with
Yes, of
Link?
course.
Okay, got
And
it.
maybe my man back here has more details on that.
I do, actually.
Okay.
The audio MIDI sync API is already part of iOS and OS X. As far
Oh,
as
okay.
Windows handling of that, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I ad hoc network my iPad to my laptop at every venue I've ever been to. And
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, I've done that for MIDI, but I wasn't aware of like for the timing aspect of
master
it. So
fuck all of it. Yeah, it's
okay,
part of OS X
excellent.
and iOS already.
Cool.
Let's talk after this.
Okay.
Please.
And I've got personal cards if you want to talk to me about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks for being here.
We'll do one or two more questions and we'll do a giveaway.
One or two more questions and then giveaway time.
Before you come up and touch the push, no drinks over the table, and if you were glomming on pizza, go wash your hands before you touch it.
Please and thank you. This is my, yes. Question back there?
What does the push to offer those of us that don't necessarily work with sample-based music and work with MIDI and specifically sound effects?
Everything else. What do you mean? You could do drums, you could do melodies, you could do harmonies, you can do sound design, and you can do arrangement. All the major elements of music at your fingertips. If you're saying why would I want to upgrade from a push 1 to a push 2 if sampling doesn't interest you, all this build quality stuff, I would say come up here, put your hands on this thing, and then see if you can go back.
And you're able to access everything from your browser on the display on push 2? As far as plugins, the whole nine.
Well, yeah, not everything. For example, you can't do the groove. You can't access the groove pool, but all your sounds and everything that you would need to create music from scratch that way. Yes. And again, when we're done with these questions and this raffle, we're going to invite each and every one of you to come up here, get your hands on this, and put it through its paces in person. So, okay, we've got one final question in the back. Make it a good one.
How accessible is the MXP option to do graphical interface with the screen?
Oh.
How accessible is the Maximus P option via the screen?
Darwin Gross.
Darwin Gross, ladies and gentlemen.
The answer is right now it's not accessible, but we're actually talking about mechanisms by where you might be able to use some jitter options to actually control the interface at pixel level. So right now, not. Hopefully soon.
Question for you, actually. Is that how Isotonic posted a video playing on the push display today? Was through that option?
I saw that. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah,
I didn't check out what they were doing.
If you see Isotonic's Facebook, they're playing video on the push display today.
I've been talking to the push developer people about sort of like standardizing that. I think Isotonic guys are really good about hacking underneath it. So it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't find exactly how to do that.
Just wrote your own driver.
What's the suggested price this Christmas?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nobody said
We're not supposed to care. That's why.
I don't want to be too overly sales oriented up here. You know, I really just want to show you guys the stuff. I want you to decide if this is for you or not. It retails for $799 in the store, and then, like I said, if you trade in your old push, you get the 30% off, and your old push is donated to a school or a child in need.
Yeah,
access.
And then they're bundled, right? So you buy $7.99 gives you live intro, right? And then there's two other models on up. So if you go on up to Suite, so if you're not into live yet, you want to get into live and you want to push. The smart thing to do is to get it bundled, because you know maybe go at least to live standard. And live Suite has like all the other instruments in there, like operator and all that. You can go a la carte. Ableton's great because if you go like you start at light, you can upgrade to standard. They have discounts throughout the year every now and then.
Yeah, so there's 3 editions of the software. There's Intro, Standard, and Suite in that order. Intro comes with Push, and then, like Mark was saying, you have the opportunity to bundle Standard or Suite. Suite is the extra large flagship version of Ableton Live that includes all the sounds and pretty much everything Ableton makes, and also includes Max for Live, which is a key thing. I think if you're going to buy the software, I would look at Suite.
Yeah, and I think that what's interesting, the website's great because if you, let's say you started at standard and then you bought operator, then when you go to buy suite, they prorate you. So you're never like out.
Huh.
But if you start to upgrade, you start to get discounted backs if you buy a bundle. They just remember all that on the website. It's really great. So you can work your way up if you don't have the bucks. If you have the bucks, most people just jump in and get suite. So
Exactly. So again, Max for Live is included with Suite. And speaking of Max for Live, I've got an example. I describe Max for Live as the ultimate problem solver in a lot of ways. You can build software from scratch. So a friend of mine created the Raffleizer in Max for Live. It's a simple Max for Live patch for raffles at events like this.
Well,
And,
you have a high number. How are you going to know?
we've got the range here. If we know exactly what our head count is here,
Hold
I
on a
can
sec.
dial in the number.
Victoria Lundy's artificial holster.
Yeah, right. I can. It actually.
So what
you
we're
don't
doing-
have to map it to push. It's already mapped. So you'll notice.
What? 116. So we're giving away 3 laptop bags. There's swag along the wall. So if you didn't get a laptop bag, there's stickers and lanyards and bags. The kitty over there if you want to throw a buck in if you had a good time tonight to support the meetup. And we'll be drawn with this little better, like how many people have seen me use my random number generator before? Excited, yeah. There's some rumor that it isn't as random as people think.
Rigged.
Not true. I bought it on the Apple Store. So it has to be back here. So we're ready to see the most improved, and I need a copy of this, please. So,
The Raffleizer,
drum
ladies and
roll!
gentlemen.
I don't believe Victoria.
Mike Medley.
Mike Medley!
Mark, I'm leaving this up to you. Diana is not in the raffle. I could send her. What do we have besides laptop bags? Something small, something made.
Lanyard stickers. We have like the cloth bags that are like shopping bags.
All right, put it back into the thing. I'll send her one of the cloth bags.
All right. Let's do it again. Because of 71 again, mine's better.
111.
What is it? 111.
What are the chances?
Mike DiPaolo. Mike DiPaolo. Did you check anything?
Yes.
Right here. Is Mike back?